Evolution stars David Duchovny, Julianne Moore, Orlando Jones, and Sean William Scott, who struggle to save the Earth from a myriad of fantastic creatures created by Phil Tippett, the mastermind behind characters for Return of the Jedi and Jurassic Park.
Oh, wow. This show's about alien creatures, and they all have to be different and cool and realistic.
The special effects on Evolution were done at a pace that we've never done before. We basically had to final somewhere around 154 shots in about 27 weeks of production. So for us, that's an average of about 6 shots a week.
The challenge of this movie, Evolution, is that it's not about sort of just finding one dinosaur. It was about creating an entire evolutionary path full of creatures.
How strange or how abstract or how alien were these creatures going to be? I mean, we really didn't have any idea.
Come on. Come on, is it good?
They're mean. They're taking over the world.
These are some designs for the what we call the Walmart bird. Some of the designs started as somewhat traditional dinosaurs, like a pterodactyl. I mean, we cranked through a lot of drawings for this guy. This one's more like a turkey or chicken, crazy looking thing. Nowadays, we use a lot of Photoshop to speed things along. You know, take a picture of a sculpture, and instead of painting the sculpture in real life, you paint it in the computer. The tools have gotten better, so you can do that real quickly now.
It's got 2 heads. It goes this way and it goes this way.
Push me, pull you. Once those drawings are in place, we move to the next phase, which is to create some three-dimensional maquettes, sculptures, and then those get all color coordinated and painted and exist as the finished objects as talking tools, so people can actually say, look at this tail, you know, here should be longer or bluer.
We will take that maquette and cut it into its individual pieces and make a scanning maquette out of that. So we'll end up with something like an arm and a tail and, you know, maybe the left arm or the right arm, and we'll take those pieces apart, make castings from the mold. This is a laser scanner which we have created here at our studio. A couple of our technical wizards have put this together for us.
Go! Go!
This was the hardest creature to design, just because it was the hardest to describe and the hardest to get a feel for. It wasn't so straightforward like, you know, Ivan said, I want something with a dozen legs and head on both sides. You can kind of deal with that. This was supposed to be, this is such an unknown.
It's just a huge amoeboid thing, and whoa, you know, what is that?
This is not just like an animal, it's more like a force in nature, like a big wind or a tidal wave. Ivan trusted Phil to make suggestions, and, you know, as they're shooting.
Feels too plastic looking.
Well, that we can deal with the surface.
Once the basic design is completed and the model is scanned into the computer, it's ready for the art department, where it's modeled and painted.
And then we would pull a mesh, a nurse mesh over it. And that's the way we would construct our model from. Using his scan data as our sort of like a mold, we would then mold skin over that. They're not one continuous piece, it's actually many pieces put together. Some parts are by themselves, some parts have to fit with each other.
We basically have a digital representation of our maquette in the computer, except that it has no color or paint or anything like that. So the next step is to make sure that we can paint it, make it look like exactly like the maquette inside the computer.
The model comes in like this, and it's kind of more of a rough outline of what the thing actually looks like. And then what we do in displacement is give it the wrinkles and folds. These are more big folds and stuff on the head here. And then this one here is more the little tiny wrinkles and that kind of stuff. And we keep it separate so that if we have to change one aspect of one of them, it's easier to do than painting them all in one map.
While the model is being painted in the paint department, the scan model comes in here to the puppet department, and the puppeteers will rig a character setup or puppet for the creature. So for example, this is the big amoeba that we have for the end of the picture, and you can start to see here these little boxes and lines represent controls that they're just starting to lay in. for this character. And these boxes and controls will basically allow the animator to move and and set up the character in different positions. So this is basically kind of analogous to a stop motion armature. So you can actually pose the creature the way you want.
The special effects of evolution are a true collaboration, requiring total cooperation in the technical as well as creative efforts of actors, special effects artists, and the director.
First of all, I was really happy to work with Phil Tippett. I think he's really one of the great sort of special effects supervisors in the business. I think the fact that he came out of stop motion animation instead of from the computer world, helped sort of instill in him a love of the actual creatures.
In a scene like this, we called it the Walmart bird for the longest time. There's a big pterodactyl type thing that flies through this shopping mall. And you have to absolutely know the speeds and the timings. Because when you get on the set, what you have to do is choreograph, literally like a dance, all of these scenes together, because you're working with individual little tiny, mosaic pieces, but you have to know, like an architect, how they all go together.
A scene normally is about give and take, but when you're working with an inanimate object, or an object that's not there, there's no take, there's only give.
Once production has made a select on their shot, we'll scan it here and send that over to our match move department to recreate the camera in the computer.
So we're the first department to start working in 3D with the shots. Now for most shots, the camera movement is the most important part of the shot that we have to track, but in this shot it's really the motion of his head that's most important. We do start off just tracking the lights, and we have survey markers. We get some information from the set where they have noted what the lens is that the shot was shot on, and they also give us a small diagram showing where the action took place, where the camera was, and where the actor was standing.
The fly! There's a fly in my suit!
We've done a render where you can see the red head and the blue helmet matching roughly the motion of the actor. And in addition to that, we've also tracked his eyeballs, because what's important in this shot is the eye line of the actor is going to dictate where the mosquito is animated. So here's an example of the mosquito once he's in the scene, following the eye line of the actor based on the match move that we've given them.
The hard part about this is what you have to do in the plate is you have to separate what is in the foreground, the glass, and what is in the background, his face. And you have to cast a shadow on the background, which is on his face, but not on the glass, which is in front of it. And it's very difficult to separate in front of and behind when it has transparency in a background plate like this.
Once we've done all the tracking of the eyes and the head and all that, we give this scene over to the animators, and they're the ones who place the mosquito in there. And it's up to them to use their own discretion how much they want to follow the guidelines we've given them. We're saying kind of this is what happened in the real world on set, and we give that to them as their reference, and from there they use their own creative freedom to decide how much they want to follow his eye line, or how much, for their own reasons of timing, or just the action of the shot, they want to veer from it.
With each character that we do, we try to find some sort of real world reference. For that particular creature, it has 12 legs that walk in a very odd way, but it's somewhat centipede-like. So, we would kind of watch centipedes just to see when they pick up which leg on which side of the body, how does that wave move through its body as far as its legs being rather mechanical and moving. And we start with something like that, again, as a real-world reference, but then the rest of it's just completely, because it's such an alien creature, we just make it up as we go along.
For us, everything comes together in the compositing stage. Basically, the compositors are responsible for taking all of the elements from the technical director, from photographic elements that we've shot.
If someone puts their hand down really hard, we need to create little wisps of smoke.
So this is a dust element. It just came popping up, and there's some more coming in from the side, falling down. Like if we stop this movie, you see right along here, that was this guy.
Our stage crew will have some sort of miniature stage elements. So for example, when this amoeba comes out of the ground, there's dust moving out of the way and big plates and that sort of thing.
Because it's a big jigsaw puzzle. We get a lot of pieces, and then we have to put them together in just the right way to make the image that the director wants to see in his film.
I think what was really great for this project was that you know, that we did have such a diverse group of characters and a diverse group of creatures.
Because it looked amazing. Like, it's just, they made us, the aliens made us look good.
Awesome!